Truth Minister Paul Scott, NoWarningShotsFired.com with the No Warning Shots Fired special report. Got a message for everybody in hip-hop. Go back to Africa. Now, if I would have called you the N-word or my dog, you wouldn't have had a problem with it. Probably saying, yo, what up, dog? What up, N-word, if I had said that. But a lot of times black folks have a problem when you tell them to go back to Africa because we've had such a negative image of Africa. And this is really what has affected hip-hop. There are very few people who will argue the point that hip-hop had its origins in Africa, or if not in Africa, in the African diaspora, meaning African people around the world. We created hip-hop. And the further hip-hop got away from its African roots, the worse it became. So we really need to take hip-hop back to Africa, get back to the roots. Back in the early 20th century, the Honorable Marcus Garvey started a Back to Africa movement in America. And a lot of people think it meant he wanted everybody to pack the family up, head to Zimbabwe. No, it wasn't like that. What he really talked about was getting your mind back in an Afro-centric point of view, to embrace African culture, to have pride in your culture, to just love being black, like we did in hip-hop back in the 80s with groups like, in the early 90s with groups like X-Clan, Boogie Down Productions, the African Medallions, Spike Lee movies. We need to get back to that because if you look at all the problems facing the black community, dealing with drugs, black-on-black violence, all of that could be solved with us just getting back to our roots and, frankly, going back to Africa mentally and spiritually. So that's my call. That's my challenge for everybody in hip-hop. If you see somebody doing something negative, pants hanging down, whatever, calling each other the N-word, just say go back to Africa. I mean, if you all can make the N-word a term of endearment and flip that into something that you think is positive, we can do the same with Go Back to Africa. So inviting everybody in hip-hop to join this Go Back to Africa movement so we can take hip-hop back and get hip-hop back in tune with the roots for where it came. Truth Minister Paul Scott, NoWarningShotsFired.com.